4th grade. Today we're going to do lesson 3, comparing numbers, and there's going to be two helpful strategies. One is to use a number line, and notice this number line starts at 0 and goes to 20. In between we count by 1. They're exactly spaced the same, but we can also make a number line from 0 and start at, say, 100 and 100, 200. And we know that in between are 100 numbers, but we're not going to write all of those. It just helps us to organize numbers in our head, and I'll show you when we start our lesson. The other thing is to remember our greater than, less than, and equal symbols. Takes a little getting used to. We got a couple of shortcuts that will help us, I think. If it's pointing to the left, the arrow, then it means less than. If it's pointing to the right, greater than, and of course the equal sign is equal to. So we're going to get started right now. Mr. Brzezinski is going to move right along here. Remember, you can push play, you can push pause, and I have to move along because it won't fit on YouTube if I don't keep it short enough. Here's the number line that we talked about. The number line can help us to order regular intervals, and it will help us to keep our numbers organized. And when we get into the thousands and 10,000s, that's really important to be able to understand which is bigger and smaller. Here's our 3 symbols. Pointing to the right is greater than is what we say. If it's pointing to the left is less than. So if the arrow is pointing to the left, it is less. And we can remember because they both start with an L. Left is less than. And we say is equal to. Let's get started. We have a police officer and we have a firefighter. Well, the firefighter, on average in the United States, a firefighter makes $41,294, and a police officer, on average, all over the United States, some states pay more than others, they make $41,793. We're going to use a number line, and here's what I'm talking about. 41,000 is the starting point. Remember, the arrow goes this way, all the way back to 0. And the arrow here, if we kept going, could all the way up to any number we wanted. We're starting right at 41,000. We count 41,200, 41,400, 600, 800, and then 42,000. They're spaced out exactly even. Push pause and tell me how much is each of them counting by in between those lines. The answer is counting 200, 400, 600. We're counting 200s. So in between here are two numbers, 41,000, 41,200. Well, we can put in the 2 dots what each of them makes. Can you do that right now? Pause. Well, 41,200, 41,400, 41,200. This is the number. That's the firefighter right here. The firefighter. That means the other number is the policeman or police officer, 41,700, 41,600, 41,700, 41,800, very close to 41,000. That is the police officer. And you can write it a little neater and you can fit it in there. Mr. B is moving on. It says, well, 41,793 is this one to the right or to the left of the firefighter, the other dot? It's to the right. And if it goes to the right, it is to the right. Well, then we're going to say when it is to the right, we're going to use the word greater. So I'm going to slide this up, erase that. And this one's to the right. So 41,783 is greater than, bigger, more than 41,294. And how do we write that with a math symbol? Greater than points to the right. We put that in the circle. Don't have to make it that big. Get it in there. It won't matter if it's a little bit outside of the circle. All right. So, who makes more money? The 41,700, that was the police officer, wasn't it? Yes, the police officer earns more in the first year than the firefighter. And they both have very important jobs, and they both can be very dangerous. And maybe they should get paid even more money than that. So there you go. The police officer earns more than the firefighter. Let's take a look at another example. I want you to make sure that you can see the Connect Ed McGraw-Hill is lots of valuable resources. You go to Austin Public Schools, you click on Family, you scroll down, and you'll see that. Get used to going there because that's a really important site for you. I'll push the arrow, and before we get to the independent, we'll do another example of comparing. All right, and this time we have two states, Vermont and North Dakota. North Dakota is close to Minnesota, touches the border. Vermont is all the way to the east coast. You learn states in 4th grade. Here's two of them. They have a population. How many people are there? That's what population means. Vermont has 621,000. We say 1,000. And on that side is 760. I'm going to write that in my place value chart. 600. Whoops. That's not a 6. Let's try 621,760. And in North Dakota, the number of people there living in that state would be 646,000. And on that side of the comma is 844. Now, we're going to compare by looking at the greatest value. The greatest value is in the 100,000. They're both a 6, says same. Then we move to the next place, and that's the 10,000s, a 2 and a 4. Well, the 2 is smaller than the 4, and we're done right there. We know which one is smaller. We know which one is bigger. I'm going to slide this down so that you guys can see. You actually can write this on a piece of paper as long as you line up the 1s, the 10s, the 100s, each digit lined up, and we'll compare. The 6 in the 100,000s is the same. Here's the 2, the 4 and the 2. The 2 in the 10,000s place is smaller. So 621,760 is less, is smaller. That 2 is smaller than the 4, and it points to the left. Let's go to the guided practice. All right, guided practice. This time we'll use a number line, and we're going to compare. That means use less than, is greater than, or is equal to 32,053. The left of the comma is 35,251. Let's look at the number line, and on the number line, this 32,000, this time we're counting 30,000, 31,000, 32,000, counting by thousands. Can you imagine writing 1,000 numbers in there? Well, it helps us to organize our numbers in our minds. 30,000, 31,000, 32. 32,000 here, 35,000 here. 32,000, is it to the left of the other red dot? Going this way is less, and we point to the left. 32,053 is less than 35,251. Push pause anytime. I know Mr. B is going fast, but that's all right because you can push pause and play and slow it down and rewind it. Now we're going to compare these 7 numbers. Use less than, greater than, or equal to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. We have in the thousands, the 10,000s, a 2. And in this 10,000s, a 2, they're the same. We go to the next digit. And in the thousands, 1,000, just the thousands we say, is a 5. Here is a 6. I can stop. The 5 is smaller than the 6. Therefore, it is less. Therefore, we point to the left. And we say 25,409 is less than 26,409. Let's try number 3. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. I see 13,000. I see 13,000. I see 636. 636. I can see they're exactly the same. And we say 13,636 is equal to 13,636. Makes sense, doesn't it? 72,451. On this side is 76,321. Let's look at the first or the greatest digit, the 10,000s. They are the same. Now let's look at the thousands. There's a 2 and there's a 6. I know that the 2 is less. It's pointing to the left. My arrow points to the left. And we say 72,451 is less than 76,321. Let's try number 5. I see 201,000. I see 201,000. I know those three are the same. Let's look at the hundreds place. In the hundreds here is a 9, and the hundreds here is a 9. 900. In the tens place is a 5. In the tens place is a 5. In the ones place is a 3. You know what? They're exactly the same. Let's look at 6. 442,000. 442,000. 89. 78. These three are the same, 442,000. Let's look at the hundreds. There's a 0 and there's a 0. They're the same. Let's look at the tens place. We have an 8. We have a 7. I know that 8 is greater. Therefore, this number is greater than that number. How do we do that? Point to the right. And we say 442,089 is greater than 442,078. They're pretty close, but this one is bigger. The last one, number 7, and then you guys get to practice. Ready? 224,000. On this side is 224,000. That's the same. Let's look at the hundreds. There's a 7. There's a 7. Let's look at the tens place. In the tens place on this one is a 4. In the tens place here is a 7. The 4 is smaller. Therefore, 224,747 is less than, pointing to the left. I know that you guys will do great. I will be talking to you soon.